Hi there. Today is January 15th, and I've got my new little podcast studio set up. I'm really excited about it. Oh my goodness, I wanted to share something really cool. First of all, this is one of my favorite pictures I've taken at my favorite place, Waskesiu. And it was actually a weekend that I went up there for my birthday. I go up every year on my birthday for a few days. I don't know if I'm going to be able to go up this year. But man, it's worth it. It's the most beautiful place on earth. Anyway, I just want to share something that came up the other day because it's just so profound and it's been so helpful for me. Because right now I'm just going through a really big challenge. New things happened this week in my life, and which means I have a lot more responsibilities and a lot more things to take care of and do. And with my existing responsibilities last week, I was feeling kind of overwhelmed. Like there were so many things to take care of for other people that I didn't actually have the time to do what I needed to do for my new business. And anyway, interestingly enough, now I've got a new set of responsibilities. And what's actually happened is I have, like I said, so much more put on my plate now, but I actually feel more whole because of it. And things started to feel like they're slowing down as opposed to speeding up. And, but I still have these thought patterns of, okay, I have to do this and I have to pick this person up and I have to drive this person here and I have to go here. And, yesterday morning I woke up, and I've shared before that when I wake up in the morning is when all the doubts show up and all the daily tasks show up, and anything that I should be afraid of shows up in the morning before I sit in meditation. And so yesterday I was like, okay, I had to go drop my car off because somebody hit my car and I had to get it fixed. And then I had to go to the hospital and I had to get my blood work done because I have an appointment with the cancer clinic next week as I don't know how many year checkup this is. And, then there were other things that I had to do. And I was like, okay, I have to do this and I have to do this. And then there's something that showed up in my mind. There was this little voice that said, no, you don't have to do it. You get to do it. And instantly, my whole body softened and my mind felt so much peace, and my heart started to feel joy. And it's like, wait a minute, you're right. Like, I get to go and get my car fixed, which means I get a rental vehicle, which means I get to meet new people as I'm doing this. I know the person that owns the body shop and I like to have visits with him. I get to go to the hospital and get my blood work done so that they can check to make sure that I'm healthy. You know, and it just shifted everything, and I started to feel excited about the day ahead. And I've really been using that in the last couple days of, wait a minute, I get to do this. I get to drive my kids to their jobs so that they can work and have a sense of pride and make their own money. I get to drive my kids to school so that they can have an education. I get to have business calls, and I get to work on my business and set things up for myself so that I can have a beautiful future. I get to schedule these podcasts with these wonderful friends that I have, and new friends that I'm making, and share stories of inspiration with other people. Like, you know, we're so blessed. We're so blessed, but it's very easy sometimes to feel like we're busy, and that we've got things that we have to do, and we're overworked, and we're overwhelmed. But I'm just here to remind you to really reframe that, and just really ask yourself, what do I get to do today? I get to wake up in a warm home. How many people do not get that blessing? I get to live with these beautiful teenagers that like to sit and talk about life. And, how many people get that blessing? My daughter's getting a puppy. That's going to be a lot of extra work, but how beautiful is it that my daughter is getting herself a puppy, and that, um, there's so many beautiful things. And I'm here to offer things that we can do to slow our thoughts down, and to shift our thoughts, and to get into these spaces of gratitude as opposed to these spaces of overwhelm. And I've been sitting in meditation at least an hour a day since 2016. So it's been many years of me really reprogramming the fears that show up, and facing them. And something really interesting that I heard this morning was, like, what I've been doing lately is I have a lot of fears, especially about my kids. What if this happened? What if that happened? And what I've been doing lately is, okay, well, what if it does happen? What then? And when I really sit with it, it's like, well, I guess I would just get through it, because I've gotten through so much in my life. Like, I wouldn't enjoy it. I wouldn't want these things to happen to my kids, but if they did, we would be okay, because we've always been okay. And I watched this video this morning, and this person was saying the same thing. And he was actually saying, imagine these worst things that show up in your mind, and really imagine it. Imagine it being the very worst that it could be, and face it, and realize that, okay, if the worst thing that I can imagine happens, I'm still going to be okay. Then what you're doing is you're allowing yourself to be in the moment, and not pressured by these fears all the time. I think the biggest problem that we face right now are the thoughts that we're believing. And, our subconscious mind tries to make us fight, fix, and fear. That's what it does. And it's not like it's the enemy, it's not. It's doing this to keep us safe. But if we were programmed to be fighting and fearing and fixing as we grew up, that's what we're going to be doing now. It's programmed from our childhood, it's programmed from society, it's programmed from every system that we plug into in this world, is all based on what can go wrong. And, we need to be afraid. Just like, when I started kayaking, I didn't have any fear. And that wasn't a good thing, because I got caught in a really, really bad storm. And that could have been a really, really bad outcome. And since then, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to stay a little bit closer to the shore, and I'm not going to go in the middle of this great, big, huge lake, because as soon as you get past the bay, the wind picks up. And when you're in the middle of the lake on a kayak, you're not necessarily going to get back. And also, like, we're supposed to have some healthy fear, but we're not supposed to be afraid of everything. Like, there's a healthy amount of fear, but then there are these thoughts that just keep us in this fight or flight mode. We don't want to be in fight or flight. We don't want to be freezing in our lives. We want to be thriving. We want to be living. So when we're believing those thoughts that are not true, we're suffering. That's what the word sin in the Bible meant. It meant you are doing this without the love and the peace and the joy. So when we align with love and peace and joy and truth, those to me are the embodiments of the divine, the higher power. When we're aligning with it, we're seeing things from that perspective, from the truth. So then we're living, we're thriving, we're using our senses, we're enjoying the moment. And it's our choice. How much are we going to suffer, and how much are we going to live? And it's not just a daily practice, it's a daily it's work all day to pull ourselves back and pull ourselves back. So today, what do you get